Is this thing on? Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here in June. I'm very welcome, my friends, and especially my enemies. Come in, sit down, no touching. I don't do the touching. Hello, and welcome back to Big Mouth, and you can keep this or any other conversation I ignite going on my Twitter. I lost it. It's been a while, hasn't it? At Movies TV Mad, my Twitter. My Instagram is the addition to this channel, which is Big Mouth. So hello, yes, it's been a while. It's been 2 or 3 days since I've done a video. This is my final video of 2019. Yeah, very, very sad. But I'm over here in the UK. Very difficult to do the dceu daily every day. But things will get back to normal, I'd say, mid-January, January 12th, 13th. We'll be back for the new year. So there was a very, very special event within the release, the Snyder Cut. So Zack's decided to call it Zack Snyder's JL, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yes, Zack Snyder was doing a lot of posting last night. Obviously, this was an official event. We were trending again. It's brilliant. A fan asked him if there's any chance in 2020 of the Snyder Cut being released. And he said, did such and such from the Bible find the Holy Grail? And the answer to that is yes. He posted a couple of pictures, I think. It was very exciting. A lot of it was about suicide prevention. Obviously, some great work being done in the year of 2019 for that. 2019 has been absolutely phenomenal for the release the Snyder Cut movement. I'm so proud of us as a movement. As usual, there's been a division, there's been arguments, but when you've got a bunch of random, ordinary humans, you're always going to have arguments, and that's okay. We can't all agree. But I think Zack Snyder's been very, very direct in the sense that there is a cut, it is ready, and the score is ready. And I think Zack was putting that clear last night in last night's big event for this movement, which was very successful again. So very, very exciting. So 2020 is going to be an exciting year for us lot. I think we're finally going to see this movie, which is awesome. I also want to react to Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker. I went to see this on Monday and or Sunday. I can't remember what the day was, but I really enjoyed this film. I thought it was really good. Listen, Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi literally closes off a trilogy in its second chapter. Right, so J.J. Abrams had an impossible task because he has to reinvent this trilogy again and give it a conclusion. So there's some great moments. Spoiler alert, I like the moment when he catches the saber from Rey and he goes, you know, a lightsaber deserves more respect. Sorry if you can hear voices out there, but there's a lot of kids here and that's life, right? But anyway, yeah, so there was shade given to Rian Johnson. Listen, I'm not one of these people who attacks creatives online and wants to be too kind of... But this guy, Rian Johnson, has got a lot of blue check marks on his side. They think he created the best Star Wars film ever, that he's tried to do something artistic and different. Nobody asked Rian Johnson or Kathleen Kennedy to give us a different Star Wars movie. We were happy with what Star Wars was. Let's be honest here. A lot of people attack J.J. Abrams, calling him Jar Jar Abrams, but the fact of the matter is, J.J. started this trilogy off wonderfully. And before we saw The Force Awakens, we were all buzzing that J.J. was involved. He was talking about a lot of elements and a lot of story points, asking us, the audience, who is Luke Skywalker? And I think if he did the middle movie, there would never have been an issue. I even think that Solo, the movie that no Star Wars fan asked for, would have been more successful and would have made bank and would have made a profit. Now, it's interesting to me, there is an agenda here because a lot of critics and a lot of blue check marks don't like The Rise of Skywalker. I mean, from the opening banner, you can tell that JJ's had to create this brand new narrative. The reason he had to bring Palpatine in, and people are kind of saying, oh, look, you had to bring an old character in because you had nothing. He had nothing because Rian Johnson closed off a trilogy, as I said before, in its second chapter. And that was the real problematic situation. I thought Daisy Ridley was amazing. I really embraced Rey in this. Now, for people saying they didn't like her calling herself Rey Skywalker, She's not replacing the Skywalkers. She comes from a dark bloodline, the Palpatines, right? She wants to be part of something heroic, brighter, and and more embracing. So she takes the Skywalker name because they're heroes. Literally, Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader only to pull himself back to the light side. Look, I'm not going to say this was a great conclusion to the Skywalker saga, because I don't think we needed a conclusion to the Skywalker saga, because that saga was finished with the Return of the Jedi. But George always had a plan, a 7, 8 and 9, to create a new era of Star Wars, and they really should have embraced that at Disney. But I get it. They were scared. There was a lot of people who didn't have enough time for George Lucas from the Star Wars community, because a lot of people hated the prequels. I loved the prequels. I understood what they were. I got what they were. And they weren't, you're starting a story. You're telling the story of how Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader. Some people liked what they did. I thought Hayden Christensen, for someone who'd never worked in the industry before, did a wonderful job. I really enjoyed this movie. I liked how dark it was. I loved Poe Dameron. I thought Boyega was brilliant as Finn as well. I thought that it was a mixture of comedy and darkness and seriousness. I even wanted to cry with the emotional beats. So I enjoyed this. I love seeing Harrison Ford as Han Solo. And let me just say, Adam Driver, what an actor. What a great piece of casting by J.J. Abrams from the very beginning of this trilogy. Adam Driver and Harrison Ford, there together on that cliff. It was beautiful. So I think that J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio did the impossible. The absolute impossible. This film is a 5-star movie because this film was never going to be perfect. This trilogy is a mess. And this trilogy is a mess, A, because J.J. Abrams didn't decide to write and direct every film so his ultimate vision could be realised. But ultimately, he saved it. I believe that Lucasfilm and Disney have learnt their lesson. Now, for people who sort of said Kelly Marie Tran wasn't represented well enough in this film, well, we had our main characters, and that's who we wanted to see together. There was no story beat for her. Nothing was left for her to do in this movie, so I think she was represented as well as possible, because JJ didn't want to kind of intertwine too much. He wanted to tell a finale story. And for people upset that Rey was the hero, well, let me let you into a little secret you already know. This was always Rey's story. And people complaining that a female has taken over something, she was a female. She was a female. But we knew that from the beginning. That really shouldn't trigger us. So ultimately, as a film on its own, I think The Rise of Skywalker does a fantastic job. I enjoyed it. I laughed and I cried. And you can ask nothing more of a movie. And I know people have agendas, and I know people are saying it was overstuffed. I didn't feel it was overstuffed. I as a piece of entertainment, I really liked it. This film may not make bank. This film may not even reach $1 billion. I don't know. As I say, there's so many agendas with fandoms, the fandom menace, with the media. At the end of the day, you've got to quiet that noise. And, at the end of the day, you either like something or you don't. But don't become part of the echo chamber. And it's the same with Release the Snyder Cut when we first started this. There was an echo chamber. You're all mad. You're all religious nutters. You're all part of a cult. They're not calling us that anymore. Even Scott Mendelson himself was giving us praise for, raising awareness for suicide prevention. So things have turned around. When you understand what people are fighting for, you may not agree with it, but it's still a great thing. Now, as I say, this is a short video, and I do apologise. I want to stay here talking to you guys all day, but I felt it was important to show respect for you. The support you've given me this year has been amazing. Some of you know what a tough year it's been, losing my mum. So it's been amazing to have your support. I know that a few of you have been coming into my DMs as well, telling me how much you love the videos. I don't even get a chance to kind of answer them, and I'm sorry about that. That's not me being disrespectful. I'd love to talk to you guys all day. I love people that I haven't met, especially positive people. I like getting to know new people. It's amazing. So I want to thank you for your support. This is not just a piece of words. I'm not just saying this. I absolutely appreciate this because this channel started with nothing. I was having 0 views for like a month or two. So it's been absolutely amazing. You know me. I'm a big DC fan, a big DCEU fan. I love storytelling. I love films, and we're going to do so much more with this channel next year. We are going to expand it. We are going to embrace our opinions and our views. I will just leave you with this. Release the Snyder Cut in 2020. I'm proud of what happened last night. I thought Zach was amazing last night. He even, tried to make us aware that people are having a hard time. A lot of celebrities are putting that post up as well on Twitter. So, of course, he's an advocate for suicide prevention because of what happened to his daughter. It's something I don't think there's ever going to be a cure for. Depression, suicide, we can't, as sad as it is, save everyone. But if we can get the message out there, and I've done it today on my Instagram, if you're alone this Christmas, and I'll say this to my subscribers, come onto my Instagram, come onto my Twitter, Movies TV Mad, DM me, and I'll try and reply to as many as possible. No one should wallow in their depression. No one should drown in their depression. Everyone should have someone to talk to. So I hope if we can touch a few thousand people at least, we can save a few thousand lives. But as I say, it's not easy to save everyone, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. So please like, share and subscribe. As I say, I'm sorry that it's not a fully kind of fleshed out Release the Snyder Cut video, which it should be, but we will talk so much more about all these issues with the Snyder Cut, with Star Wars, a Superman movie. After watching The Rise of Skywalker, yes, give me, if I can't have Zack Snyder's Man of Steel sequel, give me J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio's. That's better than nothing. But I think Superman will be oversaturated within the movie and TV industry, and I think that's right and proper. So I want you to have an absolutely fantastic Christmas, and we will see each other in the new year. Now, I will try and do a few more videos before I go back to Cyprus, but if not, I shall see you around for another video on the 12th of January. So please try and keep the faith, stay on the channel, stay subscribed, and I'll see you in 2020. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.